Hi, I'm Steve Sample with Bama Talk. Don't miss a single episode of Bama Talk Show, available now on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app, and on the web at bigbrainsmedia.com.
This is your Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, February the 17th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. Thought we'd take a look at the temperature trace at my house yesterday. Interesting that we hit our high around 2 o'clock and a steady decline in temperatures all the way till this morning. And when I last checked just a few minutes ago, I had dipped down to 22 degrees. The Birmingham airport was around 24. But I had not reached sunrise yet, so this is definitely one of the coldest mornings we've seen in quite a while. And as a matter of fact, there are temperatures right at 6 a.m. around the area. Vic Bell reported in with 14 degrees at Black Creek and a snow cover. We're dealing with high pressure, and that's one of the reasons that it has become so chilly this morning. We've had good radiational cooling, although clouds have moved in from the northwest. We can see some of those clouds on the IR image, the water vapor imagery, actually, underlain with the 500 millibar pattern, and of course a deep trough and nice northwesterly flow, bringing those chilly temperatures our way. It is rather cold over the eastern third of the country, and especially up in the Great Lakes, with some minus values up there in parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin, so very chilly morning. Rainfall over the next 5 days with two weather systems that are going to produce rain, one Monday night into Tuesday morning and the other Thursday night into Friday morning, expected to bring 1 to 2 inches of rain to the southeastern U.S. And that system Thursday into Friday is expected to produce some severe weather threat. We'll be talking about that with the maps in just a minute in the area from Louisiana across central Mississippi into west central Alabama. There's a look at our Skycam network this morning. Still pretty dark when I was preparing the charts, but certainly I see a little sun in the eastern horizon at Trussville, and there's one of our newest Skycams at Fultondale. All right, here's the 060 GFS model run this morning. And there's a look at the trough this afternoon, around noontime. And there's the trough, and we're still under a northwesterly flow. But even with some clouds today, I think we should warm up at least a little bit. And, of course, the wind dying off, that should help also. By Monday, we're back under a ridge, so we should see a quick warm-up, but you can see the next system approaching us from the Kansas-Oklahoma area, and that will be producing good rain chances coming into the area of the lower Mississippi River Valley. The rain actually doesn't get to us until about, I think Monday evening perhaps. This is midnight time frame, so I think probably late Monday evening and into Tuesday morning. By Tuesday, that trough is coming by, so the rain chances should be diminishing for us as we see the front move on by. But, of course, you can tell from the thicknesses there that we'll be chilling back down once again. Of course, typical southeastern fashion, we get back under a ridge on Wednesday, so that means we warm back up fairly quickly with these very fast train of systems going on. And moisture begins returning Wednesday to our west, so that is setting the stage for the next weather system, which is coming out of the Rockies on Thursday, and that system is going to go negatively tilted, as you can see here, with the bulk of the trough coming out of the central Rockies there, and that producing a nice surface low with a trailing front, and there's the risk for severe weather for that area that the SPC had outlooked. Now let's take a look at an intermediate time. This is at midnight, and you can see that the cold front is getting down into Alabama and Mississippi. But parameters are not particularly great at this point because, of course, as the system is de-amplifying, the threat is going to be diminishing. But the threat, you can see from the dew points, this is at midnight, the dew points getting all the way to 60 degrees, all the way up into northern Mississippi. And the GFS also suggesting that the Cape values will be the greatest, as we've seen oftentimes in this time of the year, that Cape value is the greatest to the south along the Gulf Coast region. But the problem is that with this is that we have some pretty good jet dynamics going with this system, so we'll be having to watch the unfolding and evolution of this particular system. Well, that system rotates up into the Great Lakes, but we stay under a big old ridge that's positioned primarily over Cuba. And what that means is that the flow goes southwesterly aloft, and that means that the front can't move through. There's nothing to push it on through. It's kind of lost its forward momentum. So it stalls out in our area on Friday. It looks like we'll probably have some pretty good rain. Because we stay under that southwesterly flow into Saturday, the front will sag down into probably South Alabama, but of course there is some question as to exactly how far south it will move. And again, the flow stays southwesterly as another system comes out of the Rockies. You can see that deep trough coming out of the Rockies. So we have to wait for that system, and the frontal position, according to the GFS, is down along the Gulf Coast. But again, we could see some clouds and perhaps some rain with that. And as we head into Monday, I know we're getting into voodoo country, but you can see that is likely to bring a weather system that will probably push everything out of here, but certainly brings another threat for some pretty good rains. So it looks like the late winter of 2013 is going to go down in the record books as a relatively wet one. Going further out into voodoo country, we do drop back into a fairly substantial trough over the eastern half of the country around the 2nd of March. And underneath that, the GFS is painting some interesting winter weather mischief. As you can see, I'm looking at the 1,000 to 850 thickness values, and you can see that it's got some pretty cold air, but it's also got a good deal of moisture. Now, honestly, the way this is shaping up with the frontal position down, into South Georgia and down into northwest Florida, it looks like the moisture is a bit overdone on this map and this chart from the GFS. So I don't have a lot of faith in it, but certainly it's kind of fun to speculate. Maybe we'll get a nice snow event out of this. But with this kind of pattern, we don't typically get really good snow events. And again, in southeastern fashion, we warm up by the 5th of March with the flow still northwesterly, but the ridge coming our way. Well, that'll do it for the Weather Xtreme video. I expect James Spann to be back with the next edition first thing tomorrow morning. In the meantime, I hope that you have a good Sunday, and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.